Love you.
So here we are again. Mira,
Hello, Brad.
congrats
How
on your big move. You're in your new house.
I'm in my new house. Everything is a disaster. The reason why the sound might be a little weird is because I cannot find my microphone among the boxes because I packed terribly and left a lot of the shit to the movers who threw a bunch of shit in boxes. And the place is really nice, but I am living in a hell of my own making.
All right. So I don't understand this. Like I'm talking to Mira before we recorded, and she was like, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I don't know where my laptop is or my microphone." Like you moved, like they just dumped everything into boxes like haphazardly. Like there was
Like,
no.
basically, I mean, like, I put like the important things into boxes. So like I was able to find my laptop charger. I did not think in the moment, oh, maybe the Yeti mic would be like an important thing to pack in my like important stuff bag in the car. And so
The
we
Yeti mic
hired
is sacred.
movers.
The Yeti mic is
Yeah,
sacred.
it's sacred and I did not treat it as such. Treated it with a great disrespect and that is terrible of me. Hopefully the movers treated it respectfully and it's somewhere among my clothes and shit. I don't know, but yeah, no, I beefed it. This whole move, I just fucked it right up, and it will be okay one day. I hope,
How
and
much
please pray
shit?
for me.
You guys were just moving out of what, like a one-bedroom apartment?
Yeah, or a 2 bedroom, and one Tyler uses the office. But we like the bulk of the issue is that we have like so many books and so much vinyl, and even after we like pared it down to like the things that we just love, it was still so much, and like it is just like in stacks in the living room, like barricading us from certain parts of the living room.
Jesus Christ. So how long until you feel like you're going to be settled? You need another week to get everything unpacked?
Yeah, I think it'll be like a week of like solid work. And then the other thing is that of course, like bodies do, they always are keeping the score and I threw my back out at the very beginning of this move. So only in the last day or two have I been able to actually like walk around and do any kind of unpacking. So that was also really fun and cool.
Like
But
lower back, lower like lumbar?
yeah, I've like got this fucking issue and my mom has the same one. It started for both of us when we were like in our mid-20s where like just I think I've been told that I have scoliosis. So
By who?
a doctor.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten like a
I
but you
didn't.
know, my friend Todd told me like I got this friend Paul, he works in a factory, he told me I have scoliosis.
By the way, Mira, you have psoriasis as well. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. My friend Brad told me I have psoriasis, doc. Can I have some let me get some meds?
that's right.
But yeah, I threw it out. Sometimes it get like it has literally been so bad that like a herniated disc like the muscles like clenched around a nerve and I actually passed out. That's happened twice. So it gets like way worse than what I'm experiencing right now. Right now it's mostly just like I had to take muscle relaxers for a few days, which is always fun and I'm pretty much good now.
Where did you get the muscle relaxers?
There's a man down the street named fucking Larry. No, I got them from a doctor too, Brett.
You've already got a guy. You just moved into the neighborhood and you've already got a pill dealer.
You know what? The most important thing, you move into a new neighborhood, you got to find your drug guy, you got to find your nail lady. Those are the two main things. Everything else is secondary.
Yeah, where can I get some muscle relaxers around here? So anybody
Yeah.
could let me know. But
I mean, if you can find a nail lady who will also sell you muscle relaxers, that is the most ideal situation.
I want to take a muscle relaxer. I don't think I've ever taken one. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, it like makes you very tired. It's not like as fun as like a Xanax or something, but like when your muscles are tense, which obviously mine are, it like takes away the pain like in such a way where like it does feel like a sense of euphoria for a minute. You just like feel like, oh, the pain is gone and like that feels so nice. So it does kind of they feel good. I'll give you one next time I see you. I got plenty.
Good, good. Yeah. How's Tyler's physical health? Is he holding up?
Tyler's physical health is okay. He's holding up. Tyler, your physical health good?
Doing great.
Doing great. He's actually I'm in a bed currently, which is kind of the only surface that we have in the house right now, the only seating place, and so I'm in a bed with Tyler and two dogs.
When did you
Um
wait? When did you move? When did you get to like what was your first night in the house? How many nights ago?
Last night was first night.
Oh, okay. So then you have an excuse for being this chaotic. I thought you'd been in there
Yeah.
for like 3 nights or something.
No. It's like we're brand new, and like after this call, I'm about to like just go nuts on these boxes and just fucking tear them apart and unpack them and just figure out what is going on. Luckily, we have like a basement where we can store shit, but also like I'm
Wait,
planning on getting rid of so much that I am living like a monk.
but who has a basement in Los Angeles?
It's why we moved, Brad, because nobody does. We have a basement and a small yard. And it's not more than our apartment was before. So like we found it and it was like, okay, well, if we want to move into this place, we have to be there in 2 weeks or whatever. And we were like, worth it because like it's a small house, but it's a house, and we have a little yard. We have like a downstairs basement area that we share with the people who live under us. It's like a duplex house, and it's like there's like a little nook off the living room that will be Tyler's office, and then in a crazy turn of events that I almost don't even believe, will get to have a studio. So I won't have to do all my crazy art shit in the bedroom and ruin the whole apartment over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mira's gonna have her own podcast studio.
That's right. I'll have a whole little setup. I won't be like fucked up in bed all crazy. I mean,
But
maybe I will, but that'll be my setup.
you're gonna have a bed in your office. I don't think you can possibly sit in a chair. I think that's a lot to ask.
Oh, I am having a bed in my office. In my studio. It will double as a guest room. So I have like a little twin mattress in there that I'm gonna put like a nice cover over, a lot of pillows. So it'll be like a little day bed area that, you can chill on if I'm doing crochet or whatever. And then I have a desk against the wall, or like a big table against the wall, where I'll be able to do the messier art stuff. And then there's like a mini room. It's like a closet, but like a room sized closet. So that's where I will put all of the yarn that I am hoarding since the Joanne liquidation sale.
The Joanne Fabrics liquidation.
I went like, even though I don't have the money for it and should not be spending more money on yarn, I went fucking nuts buying up the last of the stock of the Big Twist Joanne Fabrics brand yarn because
How much
it's
did you spend? How much money did you throw down for yarn?
Tyler, cover your ears. I'm gonna say like maybe like
Be honest.
150,
Oh,
but
okay.
like a 150 this time. Like I've also bought other yarn from Joanne. I think Tyler's about to chime in to be more honest about it.
You
Is that
should
a
just be honest.
like I spent 150 this time. I spent 150 a previous time. When we were in the desert, I spent 200
Oh my god.
On yarn.
on yarn. Yeah. So
Oh.
but to be fair, it is my absolute favorite kind of yarn. I'm very picky about yarn. I use the yarn and the yarn will never be there ever again. So really
Are
it's an
you gonna
investment.
are you selling the shit that you make like on Etsy or something?
I'm gonna start, I think. I mean, like the things that I make, like I don't use patterns or anything, so they're all kind of gonna be like one off, like, one of a kind things. And so far all the things I've made have been things that we've decided to keep or give to friends because we thought they were too cool, but I'm gonna start being less precious about it and putting for sale like the weird shit that I make. I recently made like two turtles while I was stressed out on the move, so I'll probably put those up for sale unless Evan and River want them, in which case they can have them for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like River's really into IKEA for whatever reason. Maybe you can crochet him like an IKEA employee or something. He's
I
obsessed
mean,
with it.
if there's like shit that your kids really like that they would want crochet versions of, the weirder the better. I will absolutely do it.
I don't know how much weirder you can get than being obsessed with IKEA as a child, but
I mean, like I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, I could crochet him an IKEA, like the building of IKEA. Like I could crochet him like you could open the little door and have it say like IKEA on it, which would
yeah,
be really fucking cute.
if you did that, he would flip out. He would be very
Okay,
happy.
well,
Yeah.
that's enough for me, and I probably will do it actually.
All right. Well, what is happening? What are we going to talk about in popular culture this week?
Well, so in the hectic move, I unfortunately was not able to watch the show, which we are going to be updating our viewers about every week, which is the Baldwins. So I'm gonna let Brad sort of lead the Baldwins segment and talk about what happened because it does seem very fucking funny. And I will be catching up next week for episode 3. So don't worry. But this week, Brad is gonna lead our Baldwins recap. So Brad,
Yeah,
how did it go?
I was responsible and I did my Baldwin's homework.
Look, I did my Oscars homework. You did your Baldwin's homework.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we did our Oscars homework. Neither of us have seen, except like we each seen one Oscar nominated film, right? Is that the way that it
I
went?
think, yeah, I've only seen Nora, I think.
So we're on top of this in in a major way. But I did watch episode 2 of the Baldwins. What I can tell you is that it was kind of a letdown because I was expecting to see the trial in New Mexico, and instead it was just an entire build-up episode. They're stringing it out to kind of create drama and to
The
maybe.
trial's gonna be the finale. They're like, for reality shows, they always like will be like, oh, and the trial's gonna be next episode and a next episode, so that you watch every episode until the finale when they finally talk about it.
I think next episode is going to be the trial. I just think they milked it for episode 2.
Yeah, maybe the whole rest of the show will end up just being the trial.
And I'm trying to think of what else. Like a lot of the episode was just Ilaria, like sitting on the couch, like talking to the camera and kind of crying and talking about how stressed out she is.
Because her husband shot someone in the face.
And then Alec talking about like they had their anniversary. They exchange gifts, and like then there's a scene where they're like Alec is like, I don't ever want to be apart from you. You're everything to me.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What gifts did they give each other? Really expensive?
She gave him like some sort of like necklace with it was like a Saint Anthony or Saint Michael or some like saint that like watches over you.
Gold?
I don't know. It was like a medallion, that you.
It was probably Saint Christopher, I think, is the one who like watches over you and keeps you safe or whatever. I don't know though. I'm not Catholic.
Yeah. And then he gave her some pearl earrings and this note, which was like, honey, like once this trial is behind us, we'll be able to live our lives in peace.
So that tells me that Alec, I don't think he like understands how to buy his wife jewelry. Pearls are like too old for her. Like that's like unless she's like going for like a pearl Chanel kind of look, like that's pearls are not a gift for a young woman. She should have gotten diamonds or emeralds or something like that. Like pearls
Yeah,
are
well,
like
they kind of talked about it.
Margaret Thatcher shit.
They kind of talked about the generational divide and the pearls. I mean, they were lovely earrings, I'm sure,
But it is a generational divide. Like in his day, you could buy a woman pearls and they'd be like, "Wow!" But like that was what, like when, like 1950.
Mickey Moto pearls, is that what they're called?
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a nice pearl brand. I have no fucking clue. But
See, I don't know shit about. I know about like diamonds and gold, but not pearls. Even though I don't like own a lot of diamonds and golds.
yeah. So anyway, the episode. What else? Like his daughter. There's a scene where like his eldest daughter Carmen is like giving him skincare, like putting shit on his face. It's like she's like kind of making some sort of homemade concoction and then rubbing it all over his face. So there are these like
classic daddy daughter like cute activity that you show on camera. Like, oh, she's doing her skincare on me. Like, oh, that's like putting on a princess dress and like playing with them or whatever.
yeah. It's like totally just like it feels very contrived, to be honest. Like how can we soften this guy's image? But
the whole thing is like there's a 0% chance that Alec really acts with his kids the way that he acts on camera. And you can tell because the kids are taking advantage of it on camera and like throwing shit everywhere and being like just as insane as they can possibly be when they don't have any consequences.
What do you think he's like when the cameras are off? You think he's like more hardcore?
Absent. I think he's just like not really around. And then he's like, don't make a mess like that. Okay. Like I bet he's like annoying and like they like hanging out with Hilaria, and then like he'll be like no, and then they'll go like, Mom, Dad said no, and she's like, okay, it's fine.
I read something about how Hilaria is like the captain of the ship, like she's the parent who like disciplines, and then Alec is sort of like the fun dad.
Well, that's a very good way of presenting his image to make him seem likable.
Well, there was I don't think
also a classic dad thing to make the mom be the one who puts the hammer down on the kids, and the dad's just like, we are like fun dad, like yay.
There was a video going around online of some like the comedian troll who does like a Trump impersonation, and he was like pulling a kind of a paparazzi move on Alec Baldwin as Alec was like unloading luggage outside of his apartment in New York City. And this comedian is like pretending to be Donald Trump, and he's like mocking Alec for shooting a woman in the face, like kind of like twisted attempted humor. And then Alec is like, if there were no cameras here, I'd snap your neck. Like,
yep. Yeah, it sounds like him.
I mean, I honestly though, like I don't know how much I blame him. Like you're just trying to unload shit outside of your apartment and some guy's coming up to you and like
I mean,
talking to you like that?
I blame him for shooting the lady. And so I guess like if I'm willing to say that I blame him for shooting the lady, then yeah, I guess he kind of deserves to be fucked with on the street a little bit. Did murder somebody, but I mean, generally speaking, like I do feel like most of the time, especially when a woman does it, like lashing out at the paparazzi is like really often deserved. Like there's a few times when it's like no, like I think when Alec Baldwin attacked paparazzi that one time I was like eh, but when Bjork attacked the paparazzi in the airport, I was like yes, girl, fucking go.
Wait, Bjork attacked the paparazzi?
You didn't know that this is a classic Bjork thing. She was getting off of a plane at, was it LAX, do you know? It was at an airport somewhere, and like paparazzi were all in her face with her like new son, and she was just clearly just trying to get out of there, and they were like blocking her way. She's kind of looking down and being, you know, like just polite, and then suddenly she looks up and springs into action and does what it, ladies, if you're listening and you want to know what to do in a fight, this is what you do. You grab the hair. The first thing you do is you go for the hair, right? You push their head down and you just start punching like that. And Bjork, boy, did she fucking do that. She knows how to fight, that girl. Like, damn. And no one's fucked with her since.
What where was her kid? Was she holding her kid as she was doing this?
Like she was like holding hands with her kid, and I think there was like a babysitter nearby also, and so like Bjork just like walked a few feet and just beat the shit out of this fucking paparazzi, like while her son and nanny were watching, and they were just like, yeah.
Damn. Duly noted. Icelandic women.
Dude, don't fuck with Bjork. I mean, like, Bjork is important, and she needs to not be fucked with. She needs to have a nice life, and I want her to do all of her weird shit forever, and that paparazzi absolutely deserved it. Done and done.
That's a great job she's got. She like she kind of made a job for herself where she's like, I'm the weird musician who gets to do weird shit like professionally.
And I mean, it's like because she fucking stuck to her guns for her whole life and was like, she's capable of writing an incredible pop song, and she has. She's written like songs that are like iconic songs that are bangers that like go off whenever you hear them. But like, she never capitulated to any studio or manager who is like, you need to make a radio hit. She has made radio hits, but it was like in the realm of being a fucking total weirdo, and respect.
I want to be a weirdo.
I mean, you can be, and you are. So you do a literary podcast and whatever this is. That's not quite normal, I would say.
I'm the Bjork of the literary pop culture crossover podcasting world.
I mean, if anyone is the Bjork of the podcasting world, I think it's gotta be me.
I think we can share that title.
All right, Bjork 1, Bjork 2. I'll take it.
That's right. So, so the Baldwins, there was also an interlude in episode 2 where Alec comes to Los Angeles for a job. And basically they have him in an AI studio, like a motion graphics, like it looks to be in some kind of like warehouse or something. And they have him in one of these suits with all these sensors all over it. And they're
like the green dots, like all that.
Yeah, they're filming him so that his image and likeness can be used in the future in AI.
Like a video game or some shit like that.
Video games, movies. And I guess like a lot of stars are doing this. It's just a way for like the family to be able to cash in on his name,
so
image,
when
and
I
likeness.
when I worked for Snoop Dogg, our offices were right next to offices where they did exactly that, where they would have people put in those suits to do video games or to do AI, whatever. And it is true that a lot of these studios are offering actors a ton of money to get their likeness, not even for a project that they know for sure is going to happen, but just for like a future project in case they want to use it. They just pay them preemptively, which I think is very predatory actually, because they'll pay them preemptively, someone like Alec Baldwin who clearly needs money, and then use their likeness in something that is potentially like gonna make way more money than what they were originally paid. So it's controversial unless you're just doing it for a specific role.
It was kind of funny. He's in like he's in one of these like skin tight, like leotard kind of things. And he's like a little out of shape. And
oh, really? Alec Baldwin's a little out of shape? I'm shocked. He looks like just the beacon of health.
Yeah. So that was part of it. And then it was Hilaria like crying on the couch. I want to say Hilaria's gay boyfriend came over and hung out. And They were like having like rosé and like
Man,
talking.
what like I would actually like for all of the shit I've talked about Hilaria, I would love to queen out with Hilaria and her gay boyfriend. Like I would like imagine like what they say about Alec Baldwin. They're probably so fucking funny. Like they probably like just like having lunch with her if she's just like a glass of wine deep talking to her gay bestie. It's probably fucking hilarious.
I gotta say, I know you're gonna laugh at me, but like I don't hate Alec. I think if I think hanging out with Hilaria and Alec, like just like the two of them, I mean, leave the kids at home, But if you were just like having dinner with them, I bet you they're like delightful and funny.
I mean, I think that's probably true, but I also think that's not really the measure of like a good person who I like would want to be friends with necessarily. Like there's a lot of people like I for example, I bet that and this is not me saying I'm a Donald Trump supporter. I hope he dies. Truly, I hope he dies soon. He would be fun to have lunch with. You could queen out with him if it was like pre-presidential like election. Him and Joan Rivers, you could queen out so hard. It would be so fucking fun if he was shit talking the right person. If he was like going in there being like, fucking Elon is driving me fucking nuts. Like that would be so fucking fun. It doesn't mean he's a good person though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he'll just kind of say anything. He has no shame. That's what's interesting about him. He has like
I mean, yeah,
zero
no
shame.
shame. And he's also like in terms of like shit talking people in a queenie manner, he's on it. Like he like I mean, he was raised by Roy Cohn. He knows how to queen out. Roy Cohn knows how to queen out more than anyone else. He knows how to queen out to the point where it's dangerous.
What is
That's what
queen?
he taught Trump.
What is this term queen out? Is that a thing?
Queening out. It's like you're hanging out with your girls and like we're all, drinking some wine and we're like, shit talking people and gossiping and we're maybe doing a little skincare. You're queening out.
That's kind of what we're doing right now, Mira.
That's exactly right, Brad. Every week we come on this podcast and we queen out. You're good at queening out, actually. You know what? You can queen out with the best of them.
Can I?
Yeah, you put you at a table with me and like three of like the gayest men I know, and like you'd fit right in. I have no doubt.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. It's a high compliment.
So yeah, so I guess like in episode 3 of the Baldwins, we're gonna get the trial and the exoneration and the tears.
I'll bet they're gonna hold off a couple more episodes before we really get like the trial, like just based on what I know from reality TV. Like they're probably hyping
No,
it.
no.
No?
If they don't show us the trial next week, I'm gonna fucking riot. Like it's too much if they string this out. If they string me out for another episode, then I'm
You
losing
clearly
faith.
have not like gone through the emotional turmoil of being a Bravo reality show fan because you will watch a show, you will watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and the teaser is like showing you like, okay, Denise Richards is fucking one of the other housewives, she's gay, and also like her husband thinks that he can cure cancer, and also Kyle Richards is calling her sister an alcoholic and sending her to rehab forcibly. Also, like, Luann gets arrested in Palm Beach and kicks the police officer, and you see none of it until like the last 2 episodes of the entire season.
Jesus.
It's what
I mean,
they do.
it's got to be hard to kind of milk. You have
Well,
limited
'cause-
you have limited access, I would imagine. Like it feels like Alec and Hilaria are doing this like one day out of the month.
yeah, and like they're also like they're having filming days maybe like once a week for a couple months or whatever, and they're like making sure that everything is right. It's a set, and like for the show, the producers, everybody knows that the reason people are tuning in is for the court battle. They wouldn't have gotten the show if it weren't for the fact that he killed someone. So like if they show that on episode 3, they're going to lose viewers.
I read that Alec Baldwin, because I got curious and I was like, how much are they getting paid? And I read on Radar that Alec Baldwin was asking for $300,000 an episode just for himself.
And do you think like what are the odds that he cares at all about the kids getting paid? I would say very low. I would say that he probably thinks money that he gets is money the kids are going to inherit.
Well, I think there's that, but I don't think I know. I think he's a business person. If those kids are on the show, they're getting compensated.
He's a business person, so if those kids are on the show, he's getting compensated. Like I really don't think that he is somebody who will be like, you know what? I'll personally take a salary of like $100,000 less so that we can do like what the SAG rules are, which is that for child actors, they have to put a certain amount of the money that they've made into a bank account that the kid can then access when they're 18 and their parents have no access to. Reality TV doesn't work the same. Reality TV, they'll just have people on there not getting paid at all, pay everyone different kinds of shit, pay everyone, per episode, not per episode. It's like chaos. And so if the kids are getting paid, then it would have to be like, here is the budget for you guys getting paid. And then Alec Baldwin would have to say, this is for the kids. And
How
like,
many
is he
how
gonna
many
do that?
how many episodes are in a season?
I don't know. I mean, it varies, but I could probably figure out. Like, let's see, the
12,
Baldwins.
like 10 or 12 maybe? It seems like it's a lot.
Yeah, like maybe even like 8. Like, let's see if I can find out. Oh yeah, 8 episodes.
So 8 episodes. Let's say Alec took 200,000 instead of 3. That would be 1.6 million for his participation. Ilaria probably gets like a less since she's not like a celebrity.
Well, their money is mutual property now, so they probably get paid in like a lump sum for both of them.
Maybe, but I feel like each person has their own like rate, right? They're each like a star of the show. I don't
Each
know.
person has their own rate, but when you're having TLC do a show that's essentially just publicity for your apology tour, I don't know how much like there's got to be like a give and take there of like how interested are people going to be, how much is TLC willing to pay, and like how little is Alec willing to take for something that might save his career.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I would say probably $300K for everybody per episode.
But I was looking at the ratings too.
Yeah, how
because
are the ratings?
like
I'm gonna text my friend who has access to Nielsen scores about the ratings of that. That's a great idea.
yeah,
We
because
can
I
get the
was
secret
like,
info.
no, but I want to say the ratings that I saw, like the audience drop off from week 1 to week 2 was like pretty significant, which is not that surprising because people always turn up for the first one just because they're
Right.
curious. But it wasn't like a ton of people. It was like 600,000 people watched.
Whoa, that's like nothing.
But I mean, that's the media environment we live in. It's also fragmented, so it's like hard to get audience for anything. And
I mean, like it's crazy. Like the streaming original like Netflix shows and stuff, when I've looked at the Nielsen ratings that my friend has showed me, like we're talking like in the 5 digits for shows that like seem like they should be popular.
yeah, well, but that's the thing is that like I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, what's the value equation for, especially for the Baldwins? Like, because let's say only like 600,000 people watch the show on broadcast.
Right.
But then like there's all the ancillary media, there's all the social media of it, the clips and the
Right. And like
like
does that drive viewers? Like if they do the clips, I wonder.
but even if it the thing is, even if it doesn't drive actual viewers, does it help to change the perception of them? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if it's like
Right.
people are watching little like clips on social media and it's like Alec and Hilaria like giggling and playing with their
Right. That's
kids.
still good for their publicity, even if it like isn't good for the network in terms of getting more viewers. Even though like it probably is okay for getting more viewers, but mostly it benefits Alex like PR campaign to be seen as like a family man.
How many viewers do you think we've sent to the Baldwins? They should be thanking us for
I
talking about
mean,
their show.
I'm gonna say like 3.
I was going to say at least 4.
At least 4. Look, if you watch the Baldwins because of our podcast, please send us a quick little note and just say so, and then we can get a count.
Dear Brad and Mira, Ilaria and I would like to thank you.
Ilaria.
Ilaria and I would like to say muchas gracias
Muchas gracias
for
your views on the streaming services.
As you know, I've been having a hard time in the aftermath of the tragedy.
My husband, my esposo, how you say, he murder somebody with a a boom boom a gun.
It was involuntary manslaughter, Hilaria.
It was how you say no his fault.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Episode 3 next week. I think it was pretty anticlimactic, episode 2. And I'm hoping for like real tears in the courtroom, which I think were real. That's the thing. I do think they were real tears.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the relief of not having to go to prison was genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are real tears. The relief of not having to go to prison, of being able to tell people that he was exonerated, absolutely. I think those are real. Like, and I
So
think he really actually did feel bad and terrified and traumatized by it. But it's not to say that he didn't. It wasn't his fault. It's not to say that he's really the victim. But of course he did. He shot someone in the face.
dude, yeah, I cannot even imagine. Like, like you're not a psychotic murderer, but like through like negligence and like just like a lot of processes breaking down, and you're the
He
one.
has, yeah, like he
Ugh.
has to live knowing that he didn't want her dead, but it is his fault that she died.
Right. And like there's that scene. They play the scene. There's a police interrogation video. Did you see
Hmm.
that where he's in the room
I
like
don't know.
right after the shooting,
Oh,
he's being
yeah.
questioned. So you see the moment when they told him that she died.
And he
And
was
it
freaked.
no, like he goes his hair goes white. Like he
Yeah.
is like it totally traumatized him. Like
He was fucking that was Alec Baldwin is a good actor or whatever. That was not acting. He was
no.
like shaking. He was like he thought that because he was already freaking out, thinking that he had seriously, seriously injured her. He was calling people. He was losing his mind, and then being in the police station and hearing that, it was kind of scary seeing his reaction because it was so
Oh,
real.
I broke my heart. I think that's heartbreaking to see that.
It
I
was
hate that.
so intense.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. I do. I know he's like, made his mistakes, but he didn't mean to kill anybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel bad for the family of the woman who got shot in the face, primarily.
Yeah, well, of course, of course, of course. But like bad accidents, just that's the thing. They suck because like there's liability, but it's like wasn't intentional, but it's like there forever. And
Yeah,
this kid
it
lost his
sucks,
mother, and it's like, ugh.
and he's got to go to bed knowing that though he obviously did not want to shoot anyone, he didn't want anyone to die. It was his fault, and he can't deny that. He just can't. He fired the arms guy.
Christ.
That's the worst of it. Almost, it's it's not just involuntary fucked up whoopsie. It's fucked up, and it is my fault. Oops,
What
that's
did he?
bad.
Why did he fire the arms guy? Was it just like
Money.
just cutting costs?
Do you remember any details about why he was firing the arms people on set?
They were just running on a very tight budget, and
Yeah.
there was even like a mass walk off of the set of the day that she
Right.
died.
Did you hear that?
There's a walk off. Like the rest of the crew walked off. Well, of course they did. They're like, we're not
Before
gonna.
she died. It was he fired the arms guy because it was a really tight budget.
Oh, he fired the arms guy,
He fired somebody in the
but
arms
but
department.
they were stretched.
Yeah, it was the production was stretched super, super thin. And because it was stretched so thin, just for money reasons, the arms department did not have all of the normal checks that they would have.
Yikes.
Yeah, all for saving money on a non-SAG production, I think, which is fucked up.
Are we ever gonna see this movie? What's it called? Rust.
Rust, yeah, is that ever gonna come out? If it does, I'm 100% gonna watch it. In as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna watch it. It's too dark for me to not do it.
I can't imagine they would put it out. Who's gonna put that out? It's like it's like a
It feels
morbid.
yeah, it feels cursed. Then again, in the fucking Twilight Zone movie, by John Landis, right? When John Landis did the Twilight Zone movie, literally 2 children were beheaded, and that movie still came out.
At least I didn't behead any children in the making of Rust.
Well, my husband, my esposo, he's a, he's a little problem, but he did not kill los niños.
There were no children beheaded in the making of Rust.
John Landis, he murdered many a children. It's much worse. People forget.
Well,
Oh,
we'll tune in next week and we'll see what's what with
and
the.
there will be more Hilaria and Alec impressions, which I texted Brad earlier this week that he sounds like Christian Bale as Batman and I sound like Pepe Le Pew, and we will continue doing these. Don't worry, we will never stop.
We should call this segment "There Will Be Baldwins."
There, I mean, yeah, that is okay. Name of the new segment is "There Will Be Baldwins." We'll come up with a little theme song too.
That's right. All right, so what we have to talk about the Oscars, right? I
The
mean,
Oscars. That
yeah,
was the one of the main big thing that happened this week, or one of the main. It's been a big week actually. Did you watch the Oscars, Brad?
I sure did.
You sure did. I also did my homework this week, like with the SAG Awards, and I watched the Oscars. I watch the Oscars every year, even though they always fucking disappoint me. I guess just because, like, my family being in the movie industry, I grew up with us always doing Oscar betting pools, and I just, like, never got out of the habit. And so I watch and then, like, live text my mom and grandma the whole time.
The Oscars is like the Super Bowl for non-straight dudes.
It's the Super Bowl for gay men and women.
Well, and women. I mean, my wife, it's like that's like she like
It's like that. Well, but what about the Met Gala? I feel like that's kind of the Super Bowl for women and gays also, because that's just red carpet and the outfits are much more spectacular.
I guess I can't stand the Met Gala. That whole scene creeps me out. But
It creeps me out too, and like I hate it, and like I hate the fucking rich people, whatever. Unfortunately, I love fashion, and I'm always gonna watch the red carpet because I just want to see what people are wearing, and I can't help it.
yeah, I mean, I get the spectacle of it. It's just the whole like what's the point? It's just like Anna Wintour is throwing like a fashion carnival, and
Yeah, that's literally it.
that's
It's
it.
just like a party for rich people, no pores allowed. Look at my outfit.
That's it.
It's a fashion show and like a party for rich people, and that's about it.
What would you wear? I think we talked about this. Like, what would I wear if I got invited to the Met Gala? I think I would.
Well, if you go to the Met Gala, you have to get your designer okayed by Anna Wintour beforehand because she like only wants a certain amount of people wearing the same designers, and she wants certain designers to be featured in the red carpet. And so you have to like pick a designer. That designer has to be down to do your outfit, and then Anna Wintour has to approve it. Personally, I would go with Alexander McQueen, Sarah Burton, Alexander McQueen, of course. Or I would do like vintage Comme des Garçons.
You don't wear any of these, but you don't wear these. You can't afford to wear this stuff,
Do I
right?
look like a billionaire? Of course not. I own one of the nicest things that I own. I own two nice things, and I own them because I know that they last a long time and that I will need them. One is a leather purse from Kuyana, which I bought because the subreddit Buy It for Life recommended it. And then I have a Comme des Garçons wallet. Um, and I bought that because my friend Natasha has had hers for literally 10 years and it still looks perfect. The wallet was like $200 though, which is fucking crazy for me to spend. So yeah, no, I do not own a single piece of designer clothing. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what I would wear. I don't even know what I would wear.
Like if I had to choose for you a designer, I mean, well, okay, I would pick Coleman Domingo stylist for you and then let them do whatever. That's what I would do.
Coleman
Because that man,
Domingos? Who's Coleman
yeah, that
Domingo?
man knows how to fucking dress. He's I don't even know what he was in, but he like just shows up to every event dressed so fucking well. He's gay, he's like a very handsome black man, and he always like looks so fucking good on the red carpet. He was in, let's see, he was in the new Color Purple, he was in Euphoria, he was in The Walking Dead, and he was in Sing Sing, which is why he was at the Oscars. And he played Candyman.
I want Daniel Day-Lewis to style me. He's my fashion icon, and Seth Rogen I think has good style suddenly.
You're gonna show up to the Oscars wearing like those like lesbian Dickies shorts that are kind of almost like pants, and then like a big oversized shirt that says like the like Billabong on it.
Be the Daniel Day Rogan fashion label.
Daniel Day Rogan. That's what happens when you put Daniel Day-Lewis and Seth Rogen in like that machine from The Fly, you know, and just like med them together into like some kind of horrifying amalgamation of two men.
Brad Listi has just entered the red carpet area. He's wearing Daniel Day Rogan.
He's wearing the skin of Daniel Day-Lewis. It is a homage to Silence of the Lambs.
Daniel Day-Lewis wasn't in Silence of the Lambs, was he?
No, but someone wore skin in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, Seth Rogen, I feel like, has gone from being like a schlubby, like, 20-something to suddenly having, I think, very like unusually good style. Like
The man, I think it's a rare case of didn't have a stylist, now has a stylist, or like maybe just had a stylist who was only buying him just like the most basic stuff, like not really a stylist, more of a personal shopper is probably what he had before. And now he's got like a stylist, and he's looking really good these days. Like he can dress.
Yeah, I think too, but I think too, like he actually has a knack for it. Maybe
Mhm.
he's like me. Maybe he's like got this latent like
Bingo.
fashion ability, and then once he got a stylist and he started to like actually get into
He
it,
knew what he liked.
he knew what he liked.
Because that is the thing about stylists is like, I think Taylor Swift is a great example. You can get her the best stylist in the fucking world, and she's going to choose something that doesn't look that good. Because if you have bad taste, a stylist won't fix it. Because a stylist is always going to present you with various options. And if you have bad taste, you'll choose the worst one. But Seth Rogen seems like somebody who, when he got a stylist and was presented with all of these options, was immediately able to understand what his own style was and pick the right ones, which like led the stylist to be able to get more good things for him, which is surprising. I never thought Seth Rogen would be the one, but he's got a very stylish house, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, he's a stylish man. And do you smoke his weed? Like I know he's got a weed company. Have you ever smoked his house plant?
I don't know if they sell it in Los Angeles. I think it might be Colorado only right now.
But it's also they got all the gear. They got like ashtrays and
yeah, I've looked into their gear before, and the thing about it is like it's really pretty. Like I actually like really like how it looks, but it is also very expensive. And generally speaking, well, the truth is that I have one expensive bong that I've had for years, and it's my favorite bong in the whole world, and I don't have the money to buy another expensive bong right now. So if that one breaks, maybe I'll look into houseplant.
say Marc Jacobs bong that
Yeah,
Mira found on Buy It for Life.
It's a Comme des Garçons bong. It's got it's got little like those hearts with eyes all over it, and you can barely smoke weed out of it, but it's beautiful.
Say Courvoisier bong. Super stylish, minimalist.
Oh yeah, it's an Hermes bong. It's
That's right.
It's a Tiffany porcelain.
I think Daniel Day Rogan is a good name for a fashion line. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Write that down. That could be a good name for a next novel.
So the Oscars, what do we think? Like, what do we think? What are your takeaways?
So let's see. I did literally take notes during the Oscars in my notebook, and then I proceeded to put my notebook in one of the book boxes, and so I have no fucking idea where it is, but I can remember in my mind what the main things were. So Adrian Brody went fucking nuts, and like he does, I do feel the need to remind people who might not know about the fact that he is banned from SNL because when he was introducing the musical guest on an episode where he was hosting, he decided to, against the will of everybody in the studio, go backstage and get one of those, like those hats that you can get that are like Rasta hats and they have dreads attached to them.
Yeah.
Like he put on a hat like that and then proceeded to like introduce the band in some kind of like fake patois that was just like so insanely offensive but also confusing.
It was Sean Paul.
He was okay, so he was introducing Sean Paul and like in like Sean Paul's accent with this fucking thing on his head, like, and it was just so offensive and insane that he got banned from SNL. So this man is prone to popping off in situations that are on live television, which is what he did.
It's like kind of douchey. It's like a little.
It's really douchey. He's like, people care about me so much that I'm just gonna stand up here fucking forever. Like, come on.
And yet he's a genuinely gifted actor. That's what's so fascinating is that like he can embody. Like, I mean, have you seen the piano? Is it called The Pianist? The Roman
Pianist,
Polanski?
yeah.
And then this movie, The Brutalist, which I have not seen. Like I've seen clips of it, and it's like, yeah, you can see how like he's locked in. But
a lot of really great actors are annoying people. Very there's a lot of directors in my family, and every single one of them will just say like, I love my job, it's great, the actors are the worst part.
There's a lot of directors in your family?
Yeah, my great grandpa was a screenwriter and a director. He wrote like a lot of like Burt Reynolds Western movies.
What's his name? Let's get him. Let's
his
get his
name
IMDb up.
This is also the grandpa who was charged as a terrorist for trying to run guns to the IRA during the Troubles.
Right.
And he ended up having to seek asylum in Nicaragua, where he then shot and killed a invader who came into his house to try to rob his house and tied up him and his wife. And then he was later prevented from making any movies by the House Un-American Activities Committee because he was an open communist and would not snitch.
What's his name?
His name is, okay, so it's confusing because they all kind of have the same name. His name is William W. Norton. But then my grandpa, who is also a film director, is named Bill Norton.
Right.
So it's like they've got the same name and it's all crazy. But William W. Norton, the terrorist, is my great grandpa. Bill Norton is my grandpa. He directed a lot of TV. Like he directed like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a couple episodes, and then the show Medium. He directed a movie called Cisco Pike back in the day. It was like a cult, whatever. And then my uncle directs like music videos and commercials.
Wow. Okay. All right. Legit.
Yeah. Legit.
So Adrian Brody gave the world's longest Oscar speech ever.
It was like disrespectful. It's like you got an Oscar, you're happy for it. You used AI to enhance your accent. I don't even think he should have been eligible because of that. And then he breaks a record for the world's longest speech.
Well, and remember the first time he won an Oscar, he like forcibly made out with Halle Berry. Do you remember that?
Yes. And then this year, I don't know if you saw, this year on the red carpet, Halle Berry was there because she was presenting something. And on the red carpet, she went up to Adrian Brody and in front of, what is Adrian Brody's girlfriend's name? Georgina Chapman?
Yeah, Georgina.
They made out with each other in front of Georgina Chapman to recreate the moment where he forcibly kissed Halle Berry. And Georgina Chapman had to just stand on the sidelines and be like, haha, like clapping, like, and then like Halle Berry went and like hugged her or whatever. Like the pain and just horror that I would feel if my boyfriend made out with Halle Berry in front of cameras or ever, I would like go pale in the I'd probably faint. I'd probably pass out and have to go to the hospital.
But wait, did Halle Berry like spring this on him, or was he in on it? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Did she surprise him?
She kind of sprung it on him, it seemed. Like he was being interviewed by people and she like walked by the red carpet and like went up to him and said hi. Maybe they had some kind of plan to do it like behind the scenes that weren't talked about, but it appeared that Halle Berry did what Adrian Brody did last time and just like went right for him and made out with him.
Yeah, I mean, the whole
which
like,
is funny.
Yeah, it is funny, and like I don't have a huge problem. Like I know you're not supposed to like forcibly kiss somebody, but like he just lost his mind. People lose their minds when they win Oscars.
It was yeah, they do. And which is like, you pull your shit together, you're an actor, you shouldn't be losing your mind. But
pull your shit together, you're a grown ass adult.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Not just an actor, you are a grown ass adult.
Yeah.
Pull your shit together. You are on television. People are watching you. Be respectful. Have a speech, make it short, be done.
Just have some poise and some humility and some respect.
And if you want to do something good, go up there and say, fuck Donald Trump, free Palestine, bye-bye. Perfect speech. That is like a speech where, yes, I'm down for it. But that is not what Adrian Brody did, even a little bit. So I watched this speech and I was just kind of like in awe the whole time. And like I kept getting texts from my friends who were also watching just saying, he's still talking. Oh my God, he's still talking. He's still going. Oh my God, he hasn't stopped. It was so fucking funny.
Isn't there you have a breakdown? I think there's a breakdown we found, right?
Yeah, so I found a breakdown of just the speech. So here's the breakdown. There were 53 seconds between when they called Adrian Brody's name and when he started speaking. So he kind of went up to the mic and was just like, and he like didn't say anything and people were clapping. 3 minutes and 45 seconds later, they started playing music to get him off the stage. And then there was 20 seconds of him telling them to stop playing the music because he was wrapping it up and it's not his first rodeo and don't worry, he'll be brief. 1 minute and 15 seconds later, he pauses for applause and then acknowledges it's time to go. Then he takes 15 seconds to say goodbye, stays on the stage for 10 more seconds, and then leaves. And the stuff that he was saying in between those time marks, it's like he didn't say anything at all. The only thing that I remember from the entire speech of him saying is that Harvey Weinstein's children call him Popsy. Which is so funny to announce at the Oscars. Like, that is so fucking funny. Like, it's like, Harvey Weinstein, I know you're somewhere and you're gonna hear about this. Not only am I fucking your ex-wife, I am the father to your children and you are dying in prison, my man. Like, And in that sense, it's pretty funny that he said that.
Do you think Harvey was watching the Oscars? Does he have TV? Like, I don't know what kind of. He's at Rikers. They don't have TV at Rikers, do they?
I mean, they usually have, unless he's like in some kind of solitary confinement kind of situation, or he's like, you know, just not allowed to leave his, if it's like he's under super, super security, like I think he's allowed to watch TV. Like they usually have like a TV in prisons that people can watch all together.
That's got to be surreal. If he's watching the Oscars and he's seeing like his ex-wife up on stage, you know, on the red carpet with some actor and
being like, your kids call me Popsy, like, and like Adrian Brody being like handsome, winning an Oscar, like Harvey Weinstein, like just literally melting and falling apart in prison, looking worse than he's ever looked with his like deformed penis. Like, I mean, it's pretty fucking funny, you know. And the reason I know that they can watch TV in prison is because Jennifer Shaw, former Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, who was arrested for defrauding old people, she watches Real Housewives in prison and then has her like publicity people make comments on her Instagram about it.
so, I mean, can you imagine being Harvey too? Because like he used to be the king of that room.
The king.
And now,
like, it used to be everyone saying, thank you, Harvey Weinstein. Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
yeah.
Every fucking speech. And now it's like, not only are we not mentioning Harvey Weinstein, but I'm the father to his children now, and he's gone forever.
He's going to die. He's not getting out, right? He's going to
die in there, for sure.
Wow.
Like, as he should. Fucking rot and die in prison, motherfucker. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I've said this before on the podcast, but I've never, like, as a woman, as any woman can attest, I've had my ass grabbed many, many times. Never like Harvey Weinstein did it. I've never had such a full handful of someone grabbing my ass, just like the whole thing. Like, it was crazy.
Where was this?
I was working at a ADR studio, like post-production studio, where people would go in and do like voiceovers or.
Oh, this was in.
Like,
was this in New York?
In New York,
oh,
yeah. So I was doing client services.
Uh-huh.
And I had to take him out to his limo, and he was just like, "Thank you, ass grab."
I may have shot a woman in the face, but I am no Harvey Weinstein.
You know what? That is true. He's no Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein never shot a woman in the face, at least not with a gun. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. I'm sorry.
What's the I don't know how to impersonate Harvey Weinstein. I have no sense of what his I don't even know what he sounds like.
Do you have any sense of what his voice sounds like, Harvey Weinstein?
Like, no.
Yeah, it's impossible to do an impression of him. I mean, I'll try. I'm Harvey Weinstein. My dick is so fucked up that it was a essential piece of evidence in my court case. They had to send around pictures of my dick. They all described it the same way. No one could find my dick.
What is that? Yeah, what was like? And Georgina Chapman is like this beautiful British woman, right? She's like looks like a model. What is she doing with Harvey? Like, I don't get I know he's a powerful guy, but come on.
They said it in Little Women, and it bears true. It is. I'm gonna misquote it entirely and botch it, but it was something like, marriage is a financial decision for women, and if it's not, then you're privileged.
I think she was privileged going in. But
yeah, she might have been, actually. It might have just been like, I want more money and more whatever, and then he's like a pervert, but at least I can just avoid him most of the time.
Yeah, he sexually assaulted 85 women, but at least I got my foot in the door in Hollywood.
But he's got a really good publicist who's gonna, make sure that shit's swept under the rug for a couple decades. So let's see, what else happened at the Oscars? Oh, well, this my poor long-suffering husband had to hear me just loudly complain about this over and over and over again for days after the Oscars, which is that a lot of very important people died this year, and they do the in memoriam at the Oscars. And so, of course, I'm watching the Oscars. Isabella Rossellini was there in blue velvet to honor David Lynch, and she sat next to Laura Dern, who was not in any movies that were nominated and was just there representing, and with, I think she was actually Isabella Rossellini's date. And so I saw them there, and I was like, great. They're going to do a great David Lynch tribute. Like, we have these two girls here. They're here to do the David Lynch tribute. Wonderful. So we get to the in memoriam. Samuel L. Jackson goes up there and talks about Gene Hackman. I guess they were close friends.
No, it was Morgan. It was Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson presented the documentary, right?
I don't remember, but I know Morgan Freeman did because Gene Hackman got his own like special tribute.
Yeah, he got his own special tribute. And it was Samuel L. Jackson for Quincy Jones. He said something. It wasn't for Gene Hackman.
Oh, okay. But didn't Oprah and Whoopi
also them.
They did the Quincy Jones.
And then there was like they did a whole thing for him. I don't know. But so Morgan Freeman went up there before the In Memoriam started. He like told some very sweet personal anecdotes about just being friends with Gene Hackman, what a great guy he is. Which totally deserved. I thought he deserved that kind of respect. Absolutely. Then they're going through the In Memoriam, and it'll be like people you haven't necessarily heard of. It'll be like a DP or a publicist or a manager or whatever, and you see their face and it goes through. And then it goes to David Lynch, and David Lynch got literally as much time in the In Memoriam as Shrek's publicist. Okay?
Wait, I don't think Shrek had a publicist.
Well, I'm going to have to venture to disagree because there was a lady on there who was a publicist and there was a big photo of Shrek behind her. Well, so if she wasn't Shrek's publicist, then I don't know what the fuck she was. Well, and I don't know why they put the picture of Shrek on there.
She might have been a publicist working on that movie, but like the character Shrek doesn't have his own It's a character.
I mean, what if there are Shrek appearances that need to be made? Shrek is in lots of commercials. Shrek might make guest appearances on podcasts. He could come on this podcast and we would not have a publicist to be able to contact. That's a problem.
What should they have done for David Lynch? They should have had like Laura Dern.
Let me tell you what they should have done. I have thought about this deeply. So they also did a long tribute to Quincy Jones. And they also did a long musical dance number that was really impressive and for some reason involved Margaret Qualley, and I don't understand why, and I never will, I don't think. It was a James Bond tribute. So like they sang all the other old James Bond songs or whatever, fine. James Bond is cool.
I don't think
whatever.
So. I fucking hate
There's no reason to have that this year. Like what happened with James Bond this year that makes that so important? Nothing. I think idea.
It's like the 50th anniversary, or it's got to be something like that.
Well, whatever. I think that their tribute should have been very similar to Quincy Jones. I think they should have had Isabella Rossellini and Laura Dern up there talking about personal anecdotes about him, of which they have many very funny, very sweet personal anecdotes about them that they could have told. And then I think they should have done a musical tribute. He has so much music in his movies that is iconic. One of the most iconic things about David Lynch is the way that he uses scores. Who sings the Stars song in Mulholland Drive? The Rebecca. Well, okay. There's that lady who sings that beautiful fucking song in Blue Velvet. They could have had her up there singing that song in just like the No Stars. It's called No Stars by Rebecca Del Rio. They could have had Rebecca Del Rio up there singing No Stars. They could have had some kind of piano virtuoso who is famous. I don't know who it would be, playing Angelo Badalamenti's various different things that he made for Twin Peaks and other movies, which is fucking like iconic, like Ennio Morricone level iconic music. They could have had any of the bands that played in every single episode of Twin Peaks: The Return do a musical tribute. It would have been easy and beautiful for them to do just a 5-minute musical tribute to David Lynch with his fucking movies playing in the background. And they chose to do James fucking Bond. Like, how fucking dare they? They did him so fucking dirty, giving him like just like a little moment in the In Memoriam. Like, fuck y'all. Like, they did him dirty even in death, in life and in death. The only movie, and Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, that has been nominated for an Academy Award that David Lynch made was The Straight Story, which is a Disney produced movie that is like, it's good. I liked it a lot. It has Shelley Duvall in it, and it's like, no, not Shelley. Yeah, Shelley Duvall? Yeah, it has Shelley. Sissy Spacek. It has Sissy Spacek in it. It's a beautiful movie, but it's a Disney produced movie that is very straightforward. It's like surprising that it's a David Lynch movie. And that's the only one that's ever been nominated. And he hasn't gotten any accolades at all besides that.
I'm not sure if that's totally true.
No.
I don't know.
Well, it might not be totally true, but let's just take it as fact.
I think he got nominated for like Elephant Man or some shit. I don't know.
Elephant Man, that's true. That might have gotten a nomination, but
Anthony Hopkins, I think.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, okay. So that might have gotten one too. But like they never recognized his true talent. They never cared. He never made movies that were like made for the mainstream. And so his influence was just they were like, who cares? Whatever. And I hope he haunts them.
It's it's a kind of perfectly Hollywood that they would like defer to like James Bond over like honoring like the truest artist like in modern cinema.
Like snaps. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Like it is so fucking Oscars of them to be like James Bond over this like person who like changed cinema forever.
Though I have to say, Margaret Qualley looked stunning dancing.
She looked so fucking good. And I think she was previously a dancer because amazing dancer.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can do that if you aren't previously a dancer.
No.
Like that was really, and like, damn, she is so fucking good looking. Every time I see her, I'm like, holy shit, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
It's astonishing. It's astonishing.
She's stunning. And one of the things that I really love about her is that she never got veneers. It makes her so much more beautiful and unique looking that her teeth aren't like, and not in like a plastic surgery, I don't like fake stuff way, but in a like she literally looks better with like that gap in her teeth is iconic, makes her look beautiful. If she got veneers, it would suck.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with her.
She's perfect. She's great. She seems cool too.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no notes. I have no notes on Margaret.
No
Qualley.
notes, exactly. No notes on Margaret Qualley. You just Qualley in abundance.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
You're in your. This is like I feel like it's obviously Hollywood is obviously for the young, generally speaking, and she's just like she's at her peak, right? I mean, this is just she's like glowing. She's
further proof of my strongly held belief that it doesn't matter if you're a nepo baby as long as you're talented.
So I want to talk about the fashion. Let's get to the fashion.
Let's get to the fashion. So, okay, we do have a Brad's fashion corner because this is a very important fashion situation. So let me
Brad's fashion corner.
Oh yeah, theme song. Brad's fashion corner.
In the club, light shining bright. Brad's got the eye, no voice right.
And there we go. So, our first picture is actually from the Oscars Vanity Fair after party, which is like as much of a fashion event as the Oscars themselves. Everybody goes to them. So what we have here is an outfit.
Where was the Vanity Fair Oscar party? Where did they hold this? Is it in Beverly Hills somewhere?
It's like somewhere very close to where they hold the Oscars.
No, it's not.
But I don't know. It might be like the Beverly Hills Hotel or something like that.
No, I think there's like a place they've moved it to because it used to be at the tower, the Sunset Tower, but it was too small. It was like the place is tiny, and then they moved it.
Like the chateau?
No, I want to say they moved it, unless they moved it again, but I want to say they moved it to like some sort of like hall or like some sort of venue in Beverly Hills, but who knows?
Oh, okay, yeah. That would make sense. It is like gigantic. It's like everybody from the Oscars and then more people also who like whatever. And so our first outfit is Lily Rose Depp. And I want to just say one quick non-fashion related comment, which is that Lily Rose Depp was robbed, so fucking robbed. We will look back on this Oscars and her not winning an Oscar as being completely insane. Her performance in Nosferatu was like nothing I've ever seen before. I don't know how her face did that. Incredible. So Lily Rose Depp, if you're listening, justice for you.
Wow. She wasn't nominated or she was?
Nope. Like Nosferatu was nominated for like makeup or something like that. I think it was mostly snubbed and costumes, which it didn't win, and it really fucking should have. Like if I start going into why it should have won, like it'll take up the whole podcast, so I won't, but it should have won. Those costumes were fucking incredible. Unlike what Lily Rose Depp is wearing in this photo, which we're going to have Brad analyze. She actually looked pretty good at the Oscars. She had kind of a black lace vampire-y gown that I thought was nice. But this is what she wore to the Vanity Fair after party. So she's wearing a floral top. It's got a open neckline, like a U neckline. I don't even know what that would be called. It's kind of a low cut open neckline, and then it's got cap sleeves. It's very, very cropped, so it stops like a bikini, like just right under her boobs. And then it has a velvet tie on it. The flowers are sequined and they are like magenta, And then she has a skirt, like a low cut skirt, so you can see her entire abdomen. And the skirt is like, it looks like a silk chiffon, sort of like a muted mint green. And then her hair is totally slicked back and she's got some silver earrings. Brad, your thoughts?
This is a disaster.
Yes, it is a disaster.
This is like one of these outfits where you're like, that makes no sense. Maybe maybe she's trying to like make no sense on purpose. And
but
if
like
that's
there's a way to make no sense that's cool.
Yeah.
And is that this?
No. This looks like the black bow on the top with this. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I can't even understand how these decisions got made. It seems chaotic and just ugly.
It does kind of seem like the stuff that you're giving to Goodwill out of your closet, like it exploded on her, like
Right.
at random. Like, I mean, like what is your biggest issue with this outfit, would you say, besides the whole thing?
Well, I think that the top is cropped like way too high. Like
Way too high.
Yeah, it's one thing to like have like a belly exposed or something, but then this black bow that just, it's like, did someone just staple that on there? Like, what's the point of that? It has
Why is this black bow there at all?
Why is it there? Like, if you took that black bow off and then you lowered it so that there's not like, I mean, because it's literally up to like her boobs.
It's like just right. You could almost see her under boob. It's like just right up there.
Yeah, I almost feel like if you're gonna go that route, you should not have it covering your shoulders. It should just be some sort of like,
Yes.
wrap around. I don't even know what the lingo is, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I just
see, your fashion knowledge is always surprising me, because I looked at this outfit and I said there is no salvaging it. But you're right that if they got rid of the sleeves and had it be like a sleeveless tube top, got rid of the bow, put the skirt a little bit higher, it could be an okay outfit.
Yeah, I mean, or at least it would be like, okay, it's after party. She's trying to be a little bit free or whatever. Like, but
It would be like acceptable.
now the way that it looks on her now, it looks like she made this outfit from like the discarded garments of Johnny Depp, like strewn around his room.
Johnny Depp wearing this crop top.
It's made, the crop top was made from cloth, like one of his like bandanas or something,
I do wonder this, because like her mom, Vanessa Paradis, was a really famous supermodel, and Lily Rose has worn her mom's vintage clothes before to the Oscars, and that's like, or to various award shows, and that's really when she's like looked her best. And I do wonder if this is like also vintage stuff from her mom that she is just putting on in a way that is nightmarish. But no, because the crop top, that wouldn't be vintage. That's very like now. See, my other issue with this is, okay, crop top, fine. But if you're gonna wear it with a skirt like that, the skirt should be going up to, like, if you can see my mouse here, like here, right, is where the thinnest part of the waist is. That's where, like, generally that's why dresses come down, go tight right here, and then we'll go out in an A-line. But this situation here, like, she's very thin and has a very like nice figure, so it doesn't look unflattering. But if it was just right up here and it was like at the smallest part of her waist, this whole outfit would be improved. It wouldn't be great, but it'd be improved.
Yeah, I'm like kind of thinking like maybe the skirt is too long too. Like, it seems like this could be reconfigured.
This could be a good outfit if the skirt was the same pattern as the top, if the skirt was higher on her waist and a little shorter.
Yeah.
Or if the skirt was like pink.
Something.
It's a fucking mess. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
And like I really, really like her, and I hope that she picks better outfits from now on.
Yeah, she needs to consult us is what she needs to do.
Exactly. She needs to consult us. I'll be a great stylist. So our next outfit is Whoopi Goldberg, who I love, and I will take this moment to name my favorite quote from Whoopi Goldberg, which is when somebody asked her why she never got married. She said, "I don't want a man in my house." Iconic. So she came to the Oscars in a dress that's like very, it's impressive. It's very like space agey. So it's got it's off the shoulder, but it's got sort of like a architectural thing going on where the off shoulder like floats above her actual shoulders, goes around. It's got kind of a corset, low waist with a big like big puffy skirt part of it and a trail. But the most interesting thing about it to me is that it looks like it is made of some kind of like combination of like lame and like latex or something. It's very shiny. It looks like almost like she's wearing like metal, like silver metal or something like that. So it's very crazy looking, very space age, and it's like a navy blue color. Brad, thoughts?
I like it. I feel like
Mhm.
I was thinking of Darth Vader, but that's probably just because like
Darth Vader, true.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's got like some Vader vibes. But
Yeah.
I think that the way like the architectural thing at the top is cool. Like the way
It's
that
almost like a shoulder pads, but it's off the shoulder.
it looks, yeah, it's like kind of pointy at the shoulders
Mm-hmm.
and it blocked off, but like I like that it then like cinches around her waist, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's this huge kind of like flowy, like the bottom half of the dress is like really wide. It looks kind of cool. I think like
Yeah.
it's appropriate because it's the Oscars. You go big or you go home, and then I think that for a woman like her, like it's age appropriate. Like I don't want to be ageist or
Yeah.
anything, but it feels age appropriate. It's like cool and funky and weird, but it's not like Whoopi's out there trying to like dress like Lily Rose Depp or something, you know?
Yes. And like my feeling is like older women, I think, are often way more stylish than younger women, actually. But there is like a different look as an older woman in order to sort of like maintain a level of dignity or something. I want to say, like, not in like a terrible, mean way. Again, older women are where I get like most of my fashion inspiration, including this dress, which I think is amazing. But you see like Madonna on the red carpet wearing like a leather one piece and then like fishnet tights and high heels. And I just feel like, girl, you could really look better in something that isn't exactly what you would have worn when you were 25. Like your fashion needs to evolve. And Whoopi has done a great job of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a great dress.
Yeah. And it's a great dress. It's weird. It's like eye catching. It's unique. It suits her. I love it.
Yeah. Good job,
Yeah.
Whoopi.
Good job, Whoopi. No notes. Okay, and then we have this is Monica Barbaro, who played somebody in A Complete Unknown. Who did she play?
She played Joan Baez.
She played Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown. And this dress was actually, before this episode, I asked Brad, are there any particular dresses that you or outfits that you remember that you wanted to talk about? And he said correctly, Monica Barbaro is a beautiful and incredible actress, and you were a little bit surprised by her outfit. So let's talk about it. By the way, the top is like a gold sequined kind of like beaded shiny thing, and then right under where her boobs end, it's like almost like a corset silk pink dress that then has large box pleats that make the dress go outward sort of at her like lower waist.
I don't like this a ton. I don't hate it a ton, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
like it a ton. I think it feels obviously like two different dresses trying to happen at the same time. That never
Right.
works. And I know like Monica Barbaro could wear like a trash bag and look gorgeous. Like
Right. She looks beautiful.
she's like classic Hollywood beauty, but I feel like the dresses that she wore to like other award shows on this like endless circuit were better. And I feel like if you're going to go to the Oscars as a nominee, you've got to bring your best dress to the Oscars, and I don't think she did that.
It's always a shame, and I feel like it does happen like not like pretty often where like people will be on a press tour and you love their outfits. Their outfits are obviously their own taste, and then they go to something like the Oscars and you're just like, that's not like, what is that? And it's almost maybe because they're trying to like venture away from like what they're used to and trying to do something like more risky. But this didn't work. This just like looks like not as good as she could go. Also, does the skirt kind of look like it needs to be ironed?
It does, and it's also not it's not the best color for her. She like looks like
Yes.
she wore a dress like the beaded dresses look beautiful on her. I know the top is kind of beaded here, but like a silvery beaded dress, or
Mm-hmm.
she wore a red dress to it.
This washed out pink, yeah,
I,
unflattering.
unflattering. I feel like it's not nearly as striking as it could have been. And she's such a beauty. She could have crushed it without. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, I feel like she could have worn like literally like any number of like, you could have given like 100 dresses that she could have worn
Yeah.
and knocked it out of
And
the
looked
park.
amazing in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked a dress that's like, I mean, she looks great, but like, it's not,
Yeah, but she looks great because she's just a beautiful woman who, like you said, would look great in a trash bag, right? Like
Right.
she just looks great. Not that this is as bad as a trash bag, but like she just is beautiful. But yeah, it's trying to be two dresses at once. It's not quite as good. And also I can see that you have once again used your natural instinct that somehow you have about color theory, because you're correct about the color of this dress. She is a winter. Or sorry, she is a summer. She needs warm colors. She needs bright colors. She could do really well in like a electric blue dress, or even like a black dress would be great. She needs like warm, bright, like a bright red would be great. Muted pink, not good. Something about Hollywood, they want to go against people's like natural color seasons, like they do with Ariana Grande, and it's just so unfortunate.
Speaking of Monica Barbara, what did you? I don't think we have Timmy Tim's yellow suit in this lineup of
Oh,
pictures.
but we can add it because that was really something. Like, let's find that one.
Yeah, because yellow is my favorite color. I like the color yellow.
I thought about you with that. That like is one that I should have added right away, because there's also like I was reading about his outfit, and did you know it's leather?
Wait, the yellow suit was leather?
That's right.
Oh, I didn't know
It
that.
looks, and it's kind of a shame because it looks like it does. You can't see that it's leather, and the fact that it's leather has got to be like the most impressive thing about it. Like it's like, here, let's see if we can show it. Oh yeah, here we go. I got it. So okay, here we have his suit, which will be our next one. Yeah, so here is Timmy Tim. So we got Timmy Tim here. It's Timmy Tim, and he is wearing a suit that is all yellow. It's like I would call it like a muted neon yellow. So it's like a highlighter color if you added a bunch of white to it. He's wearing a double-breasted jacket, and he's wearing pants that are like, I think, the correct waist line for men that they should always wear. And then he's wearing a looks like a silk collared shirt that is the same color as the yellow. This is also an homage to a outfit that Bob Dylan wore. It's not quite the same.
Oh,
But
it
it is a
is.
yellow suit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
an
that.
homage to a yellow suit that he wore at one point. But this is a little different. And reading about it online, I realized that this suit, though it just looks like a normal suit, like material, it is leather, which is very unfortunate, I think, because the fact that it's leather is what makes it unique and cool, but you could not tell.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of leather. I like animals. I don't want you to wear the skin of
Well,
animals.
let's pretend it's fake leather then while you're critiquing it.
Okay, what I'll say is I like it. I actually like it. I think it's kind of cool and crazy. I don't know. In this picture, the pants look like they're a little bit ill-fitting. They look a little long.
Well, it's like tough with like leather, right? Because it's like the leather's always going to kind of bunch up and make it look, if you don't know it's leather, it's going to make it look unironed. But you're right that the pants it seems like they like hemming leather takes a little bit longer, and it seems like maybe they just like didn't know the pants were too long. I can't tell if it's a fashion choice or not.
Yeah, but otherwise, like I like the coat. The coat fits well. Like you said, the
Mhm.
waistline is right. The shirt underneath it, like just going like monotone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bold choice, but again, like if you're going to the Oscars, you're nominated for Best Actor and you're like 24 years old or whatever. Like this is,
I prefer a bold choice even when it doesn't work to a boring choice,
yeah,
always.
yeah, go for it. And I mean, I don't think I've seen, and I like too. I mean, the fact that it's an homage, which I did not realize, that even adds another layer. I feel like
Mhm.
that makes it an even more correct choice because you're
Yeah,
like,
like his bob suit wasn't leather, but it's like it was the exact same color. It's definitely an homage, which I appreciate.
totally.
Yeah.
So good job, Timmy Tim. I'm sorry you didn't win. I think you would have given a shorter Oscar speech than Adrian Brody, but
Yeah, he would have, and it would have been certainly more coherent, I would say. But also, I think that like his speech at the SAG Awards being like, I want to be one of the greats, like I want to be like, I want to be the Daniel Day-Lewis, I want to be Michael Jordan, whatever the fuck. Had he won this Oscar, his head instantly would have gotten too big and his acting would have gotten worse. I actually think not winning the Oscar is going to give him like a little bit of like, it's building character for him. I think he's going to now be like, I got to work 10 times as hard to get that Oscar, and he's gonna have to like work and work and work until he hits, you know, The Revenant, like Leo, and finally gets it.
I can't believe the amount of horseshit you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. Like the SAG Awards, the BAFTAs, the
The Golden Globes,
Golden Globe. I mean, this is an
the
exhausting.
press tours,
Yeah, it's an
the
exhausting.
Oscar campaigns.
Right. It is a slog. What a humiliating, degrading, like just like soul crushing experience. Like I know it's an honor, but like I think like if I would just not show up. I totally get why. Like I don't know who besides Woody Allen. I think Woody Allen never showed up to the Oscars. I get it.
That makes sense.
I respect it. I gotta say, like I would just peace out. Like I'm not doing this.
You know, I would for sure show up, and I would show up in like in an outfit that everybody would be like, why the fuck did she wear that? It would be like a Bjork Swan outfit moment, like for sure. And I would assume that I'm gonna lose. I would get lit. I would get super drunk and like fuck it, whatever. Like I feel like the Oscars are actually, like, now that you say that, I think it's true, they're kind of a humiliation ritual for actors, like to have to be there unless they win. Like
Unless
for
you
Demi Moore,
win.
that felt like a humiliation ritual.
Oh my God. I mean, it was like the plot of The Substance, like come to life. You know, she loses. She's like the favorite going in. She's won all the other awards. And then she loses to like the young ingenue, right?
I mean, it's kind, I mean, you know, it's not exactly like The Substance, I guess, in that, in The Substance, they, you know, always say you're one, respect the balance, etc.
I did not see The Substance, so I have no idea.
But no, it is like in a very like concrete way. It just like she did lose to a younger woman, and like, but she looked fucking amazing, and like she must be taking The Substance because that woman has like de-aged. She looks like better than she did 10 years ago. Like, goddamn.
I like
love
her. I like her. I think she seems. What I think about, I mean, I'm sure Demi's got her issues, and you know she can be. Everyone does, but like I've heard her interviewed. I think she seems like a good egg.
She does seem like a good egg. She seems funny. She seems nice.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of her dog Pilaf. Her fucked up little Chihuahua Pilaf. He's a great dog. Let's see. So what else happened at the Oscars?
I think that's it. People lose. People have to sit there and lose and be on camera.
Oh, I liked so Anora won. It swept all of its categories. It won like 6 different things, and I did like in one of the acceptance speeches that Sean Baker did. He made a plea for movie theaters, and he told he was like, filmmakers, like, fight for a theatrical release. Don't go to streaming. Don't go to Netflix. We need movie theaters to come back, and like parents, take your kids to movies, show them the magic of being in a movie theater. And I gotta say, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's some controversy about Sean Baker right now, but
why?
I feel like we almost could do a whole segment on this, but I'll try to just really quickly encapsulate it. They didn't have an intimacy coordinator on the set of Anora, which is a movie about a sex worker, and so a lot of people were like, "It's not good," blah blah blah, and like, in my opinion, intimacy coordinators should legally be required on movie sets, but whatever. The actors seemed like they were totally fine with it, and it wasn't an issue. So that was how it kind of started. And then people started looking at Sean Baker's social media. Turns out he follows and interacts with like not good shit. He follows a bunch of like IDF babes, like it, like basically like nudes and sexy women who are in the Israeli Defense Forces or the Israeli Occupational Forces, which is fucking insane. And then he also like follows and interacts with libs of TikTok and like these like pro Kyle Rittenhouse accounts. And so he hasn't ever said anything that like, you know, was right wing. He's been very careful about that, but a little fucking sus that he follows those accounts so much.
Maybe he's gonna make a movie about IDF female soldiers.
Look, people have made that argument. They're like, it's research, and I'm like, there's research about hot women in the IDF. Like, that doesn't really make sense to me.
That's why I'm in the Margaret Qualley fan club.
I mean, look, following the Margaret Qualley fan club, that is not a red flag to me. If anything, it's a huge green flag. I think she's great. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Everybody loves Margaret, at least for now.
Yeah. So let's see. Any other Oscars notes before we move on to our next
No, just
next category?
Good job, Conan. And
Conan did a great job. He
yeah.
was a better host than for a long time. He was the best host that I've seen.
And congrats to Popsy for winning the Best Actor award.
Is that Alec Baldwin
Yes.
giving congratulations?
I was not at the Oscars. I was in my house in Manhattan with my 7 children.
Coincidentally, Harvey Weinstein's kids also call me Popsy, so...
I don't think Alec and Hilaria wouldn't show up for the Oscars after party. They're not doing that.
No,
they're
not showing up for anything for a very long time.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to be asked questions on the red carpet. That's a hard to control situation.
Yeah, totally. So before we go, we have to talk about Gene Hackman. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, what happened? This is crazy.
So, I don't think anybody missed this story, but in case somebody is living under a hole, Gene Hackman and his wife died. Gene Hackman was 95. What happened was that their corpses were found in their house by I think it was like a gardener or maintenance person. Nobody had heard from them for 2 weeks. Gene Hackman's pacemaker showed that it had stopped 2 weeks ago. He was found, I believe, in the kitchen.
No, he was in a mud room. He was like in the mud room.
He was in the mud room.
Yeah.
Okay, so he
had fallen. He had fallen. It appeared as though he had fallen suddenly, and there was like a cane, I believe, nearby.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it seemed like he had fallen suddenly. His wife was found dead in the bathroom. There were pills scattered on the counter, like kind of as if she had fallen when she was opening the pills. And then I don't know if it was the bathroom closet or a nearby closet, but one of the dogs had gotten into the closet, somehow was locked in there, and also died. The other 2 or 3 dogs, I can't remember, were totally fine. There was no signs of forced entry. I think the front door was kind of just like open. And the wife had begun to mummify. No, they hadn't really said anything about Gene Hackman beginning to mummify. I'm not really sure what that's about.
What the fuck does that even mean? Somebody mummifies?
I'm about to sound really stupid right now. I was under the impression that mummifying referred to the process of mummification, where you like inject formaldehyde and like do all the shit that the Egyptians did to mummify people. Apparently it's not that. Apparently it is a natural process that happens to dead people. I Googled it and it said that usually it happens from after 3 weeks to a month. They were dead for 2 weeks, as far as we know. Or Gene Hackman was dead for 2 weeks, but the wife didn't have a pacemaker or anything, so we don't know. So maybe she started mummifying a little bit early.
I have no. Yeah, I don't know.
At first, they thought it was a gas leak, which would make sense. That seemed like you go in there, a gas leak would make the most sense. They, in the autopsy, did not find any evidence of it being carbon monoxide poisoning. So that discovery led them to name this a suspicious death.
Wait, wasn't there a space heater next to the wife? Like, what's her name?
Was there?
Yeah, like weirdly, like in the bathroom, there's like a space heater on the floor next to her.
Well, in all fairness, sometimes when I shower and it's really cold, I will put a space heater in the bathroom so that I can get in the shower without freezing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe she was doing that?
Maybe. Yeah, they live in Santa Fe. It's cold.
Yeah, maybe yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I don't know. So they're doing an autopsy now. It's been labeled a suspicious death, which I do feel like I need to mention. Gene Hackman was old as fuck. He was 95 years old. He was on a ventilator. He was on a cane. To die at that point in your life and have it be labeled suspicious is impressive.
I was going to say, like, to have he's like the first 95-year-old man in history to like die sensationally.
Yeah, like now it's being investigated. Like normally you could find a 95-year-old dead in any position and you'd just be like, yeah, that motherfucker died. He was really fucking old. Like, I don't know. Like no one's gonna fucking investigate. You could find a fucking 95-year-old just like, I don't know, like upside down in a handstand dead, and they would be like, yeah, natural causes. Yeah. And somehow for Gene Hackman, nope, it was a suspicious death, and they are still investigating it. Now I have like one very half-baked theory about this, and I think maybe you do too, Brad. Do you have any theories about what happened?
I do. I think Gene Hackman started to go into some sort of health crisis, or he was feeling sick, and they were going to go to the doctor.
Something like his pacemaker was fucking up or something like
He
that?
was just feeling weird, and like they're like, okay, we got to go to the doctor. I guess they would have probably called the doctor
911.
unless they were like in a hurry, but I'm just guessing that like maybe he dropped dead. And then she thought he still had vital. He needed his pills, and she like ran into the bathroom, and then she had like they both had heart attacks. Like she freaked out so bad after he dropped that she died. That's my.
I mean that like, you know, does seem like according to like what it looks like, that kind of seems like what it is. I'm curious as to what the pills were actually that were fallen in the bathroom, because that would give us some indication. Like, was she going for his heart pills? Is that what was all over the bathroom?
Yeah, unless like he died, and then she's like, I'm going out too, and she just like ate a bunch of pills. But I don't fucking.
Well, but they said that they didn't find any like evidence that she had overdosed on the pills. And apparently most of the pills were there, just scattered on the floor.
Yeah, like so he drops in the mudroom, and the fact that he's in the mudroom means they were like on their way out. Like he was on his way out.
Which would make sense why the door was ajar.
And so he falls, and she runs to the bathroom to get medicine, and then she's like so panicked that her heart is stressed. She was only 65. I mean, she wasn't that old.
She was young. That like, because to me that's like, I don't know, I feel like the odds of both of them having a heart attack randomly at the same time when she's only 65 and in good shape,
That would be weird, but I mean,
it would be weird.
people, but like, you know,
But
she's
people freak out, I suppose.
well, yeah, and she's got a husband who's 95, so he's 30 years older than her, and she's been living with the stress of their age gap. This is like Hilaria and Alec. She's been like, oh my God, this guy's, you know, he's going to die, and I'm going to be widowed any day now. And she's been feeling like this since he was probably in his 70s. And
Jesus.
then finally it happens, and maybe just like the cumulative stress of it, and then her heart stopped too. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. So like my theory is a lot more far-fetched than yours. You are having a kind of a reasonable response to it, and I am about to pose a theory that is certainly not true, and it's just something that, you know, I got stoned and I was thinking on it. Gene Hackman has or had a very, very, very contentious relationship with his son. He was not really there to raise his son. He was always, you know, on set, whatever. His son, like, they aren't on speaking terms and haven't been for a very, very long time.
I did not know that. I didn't know it.
Yeah, his son, like, you know, thinks of his mom basically as his only parent. He like hates Gene. They're really not close, and it seems like Gene Hackman never really did anything to kind of reconcile it. So, like, my incorrect, possibly disrespectful theory is, what if the son was written out of the will and he found out? Or was going to be written out of the will and was found out? What if he realized that he discovered that the wife was going to inherit everything and he wasn't going to get anything at all, and got in there before anybody else did, and used, I'm trying to, I watch so many murder shows. There's a poison that you can use that does not show up in any drug tests,
Like strychnine or cyanide or whatever.
arsenic, something like that.
Arsenic, yeah. Because I was going to say there was no visible signs of trauma. Like nobody was like
Yeah.
shot or stabbed.
It appears they both just fell down and died randomly. And like, I don't know what Gene Hackman's son's deal is. And like, it again is likely not true. This is me being insane and just, you know, really going for it. But I mean, he hasn't said anything since the death, and he was fucking mad as hell at his dad. So I don't know. There's also, hilariously, this morning I saw there were rumors circulating that were posed basically as facts, of course, that Gene Hackman was killed because he was supposed to be a witness in the Jeffrey Epstein documents revealing trial. He was a witness in the Epstein trial, like before Epstein died. I think because he not because he like had any actual connection with Epstein, but because he like knew people who were abused or told him about the abuse, and he was like, I'm going to talk about that. But that was many years ago. And so there was people online who were positing that maybe he was killed because he was going to reveal some information about Epstein. And weirdly, Alex Jones on InfoWars debunked the theory, which is the opposite of what I would think. I would think he would be like, yeah, of course, he was in the pedophile cabal. That's why he was killed. But instead he was like, nope, that's actually not true.
Thank God
Weird
for
shit.
for Alex Jones holding the line of sanity. Yeah,
And,
I just think like it just seems like Gene Hackman falls dead. His wife freaks out, runs to the bathroom to get like medication or something, and then she's so panicked that her heart gives out and she falls down.
like, so like, but like, is that the Occam's razor explanation? Like, what is like the most likely, like, least dramatic explanation? That's what I'm struggling with, because it seems like maybe the Occam's razor thing is what you're saying, that they both just had heart attacks, but also that doesn't seem likely. Like, how could they both just have random heart attacks like that when she was so young and healthy? Him having a heart attack makes sense, but her?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, people get stressed out. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, that might be like the most like reasonable explanation of it, honestly, which is crazy because it's like a very strange occurrence nonetheless.
Yeah, unless like somehow she decided to off herself, like he died and then she was like, I'm going too. But I guess you said
Right.
they didn't find any evidence, like they didn't find any pills in her stomach or anything like that.
Nope. They didn't find any like drugs, no evidence of suicide, no evidence of poisoning, no evidence of harm to their bodies. Like, they just dropped dead. The evidence they have is that his pacemaker stopped 2 weeks ago, so they died about 2 weeks ago.
And then one of the dogs died. That's so sad. This dog,
It's right.
dog
So
was
sad.
dog was in the crate, like was locked in the crate and just starved to death.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, right. They were just going to take him out of the crate and feed him or whatever, and then he just fucking got stuck in there. And the other two dogs were just wandering the property, like, fine, I guess.
I'm kind of like, don't dogs like in a pinch if they're starving, wouldn't they eat the bodies? Not to get gross, but like, I guess they didn't.
It's a good point. I mean, I think, God, that's so dark.
It is dark.
I think honestly, like, Gene Hackman lived on like a big, like, estate. Like, there was like gardens, like foliage, shit, probably like little animals and shit like that. Which I think is probably why the dogs didn't eat the corpses, because they were just wandering around the property eating fruits and fucking mice or whatever the hell.
It's not fruit growing in Santa Fe in the middle of winter.
You don't think fruit can grow in Santa Fe?
Not in February.
You don't think they had any food in their garden?
I don't know. Maybe they ate squirrels or something, but
I mean, they must have survived on something, right? They can't go without food for 2 weeks, can they?
yeah, you can survive without food for 2 weeks as long as you have water.
Well, not the one in the crate.
The one in the crate had no water. That's the problem.
Oh, so the other dogs probably just didn't really eat much, but they had water.
That's right.
Damn, that's fucking fucked up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, Gene Hackman is like an awesome actor. We were talking about like great actors. I think we failed to mention him. He's like
He's up there.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. He really is.
And
like,
a badass too, like a tough dude. I got a story about him. Years ago, like Carrie and I's first apartment together was in a duplex, not unlike the one you're living in now, Mira. Like we lived above a woman who worked in Hollywood as a personal assistant.
Oh, they know everything.
They know everything. Yes.
It's the personal assistant and the makeup artist.
Yeah. So she had been Angelica Houston's personal assistant, and she lived.
Ooh, that is fascinating.
Yeah. She lived below us. She had very nice things to say about Angelica. They were pals.
Oh,
they were pals. Yeah. Angelica's cool.
That's comforting. I like her so much.
Yeah. And, but she was just like, she was on the set of Royal Tenenbaums. And I guess I was probably asking her about it, but I distinctly remember her being like, yeah, we were on the set of that movie, and like Gene Hackman like yelled at Wes Anderson like so viciously that Wes Anderson started crying.
Oh my God. He made Wes Anderson cry? I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I don't get on the Wes Anderson hate train. I actually think that like he like had a vision and executed on it and has made some incredible movies, but that's funny as fuck that he made Wes Anderson cry.
And I mean,
like
but the thing too that makes it so great is like an all-time great performance. Like Gene Hackman in Royal Tenenbaums he makes the whole movie. He's so
It's one of the best performances of all time.
Yes, he's the best.
Like he's so fucking good. He's so good. Yeah. Like just incredible. Like I mean, yeah, I guess he was kind of like a rough and tumble guy. Like he like I think you mentioned this to me. He got in a fight, like a fist fight
Yeah.
when he was like 70.
Well, I remember because I was living in West Hollywood at the time, and I remember that being in the news where it was like Gene Hackman, like age 72, gets into like a fender bender and then gets out of his car, and these people are like kind of yelling at him. I think it was like two dudes get out of this car and start like getting in his face, and Gene Hackman at age 72 like punches them, and like they go to the pavement and they're like rolling around, like fighting.
Just like straight up, like fully fighting.
Just scrapping at 72.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like here's an article about it that's saying he was the one who hit their car. Like it like he like hit their car because he like didn't see a red light, and then he like rear-ended them. And then they left the car and they like, you know, got in his face and were kind of harassing them for a couple minutes. Hackman kept his cool for like a while. It was like 5 minutes he kept his cool. And then he said something that was just too much, and Gene Hackman activated and hit him hard, and this is the quote, punched him hard in the face 4 or 5 times. Like, and to like in like, if you think about this in like just in real life, hitting somebody hard in the face 4 or 5 times is not easy because they're going to be fighting back as soon as the first punch is in, and yet he's still getting he's rapid firing the punches so that the guy doesn't even have time to like move.
At age 72.
At age 72. With young men. These men were young. This article says that they were like young men.
They were probably like, I can't hit this guy. I'm going to kill him. Like, you know, like, or,
I mean,
or like, wouldn't you know it's Gene Hackman? Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, Gene Hackman just rear-ended me? Like, what would you be doing yelling at Gene Hackman? It seems crazy.
So apparently the guys who were part of the fight told the news that they kicked him in the balls. And then when they did that, like Hackman just like shoved him. But observers said that he was not ever kicked in the balls, and that he just punched this guy until he was on the fucking cement, and then got on top of him and started punching him more. Like, these guys had to come up with a story that made them seem less pathetic and less beaten up by Gene Hackman, because he fucking beat them up so hard. And it should be said, in the middle of Boys Town, in the middle of like the gayest neighborhood in America.
As Wes Anderson watched the news footage of Gene Hackman pummeling a man on the pavement, he had PTSD flashbacks and started weeping uncontrollably.
Was he in a war?
Wes Anderson or Gene?
Gene.
Gene was in the Marines. He enlisted in the Marines at age 16. He lied about his age. I read that.
He lied about his age to enlist in the Marines? This motherfucker's nuts.
Yeah. Well, his dad, like when you were talking about Gene being estranged from his son, if that is indeed the case, Gene Hackman's dad like abandoned their family when he was 13 years old. And I was watching, you know, when somebody like a celebrity dies, like your Instagram feed is just loaded with clips of the celebrity or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just opened Instagram and there's a clip of Gene Hackman on Inside the Actors Studio with who was the old host? What was that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about.
The old host of Inside the Actors Studio.
Yeah, I totally.
It wasn't Charlie Rose, was it?
No, but it's like the guy with the beard, you know, whatever his name was. And
do you know who the old host of Inside the Actors Studio is? Lipton?
James Lipton, yeah. And
nice, James Lipton.
So thanks, Tyler. So Gene is talking to James Lipton and about this, you know, moment in his life when his dad abandoned the family. And like, I guess Gene was like out in the street playing with his friends on like a summer day or, you know, whatever season it was, but he's outside playing with his buddies, and his dad gets in the car and like slow rolls past him and like doesn't stop, but just like gives a wave and just like was gone.
And then just left.
Then was gone. And like, it was really wrenching to watch as Gene Hackman is remembering this. He's like almost crying.
Of course. I mean, Jesus Christ. And like for a man like Gene Hackman to cry is like a very intense thing to see. Like that's like,
well, I mean, that was like probably in a weird way, that was like the source of his like acting. Like yes. A lot of his like power as an actor probably stemmed from a lot of that.
I mean, it sounds like the Royal Tenenbaums, like it sounds like he was channeling his dad a little bit. Maybe, in that role.
Maybe. But it's like such a great comedic role. It's just so funny that he was like...
It's so fucking funny.
He must have been like, this is like a hard-ass Marine who like beat you to a pulp at age 72 and he's on set with like the most twee film director in history. This like young, like super talented, but like incredibly like twee and precious film director.
God.
And he's got to be like, what is this fucking guy doing with me? Like, I'm going to bust some heads.
And then, I mean, he did come into that movie, which was very twee. And the reason I give Wes Anderson credit is because he was kind of twee before twee was like a thing that existed. He sort of like helped form that as a thing, which I think is impressive. But it like Gene Hackman, I like that movie so much more than a lot of other Wes Anderson movies.
I love it.
Because like Gene Hackman takes the twee away by just being like such a funny, gruff, intense dude that it makes the twee feel like natural and normal, where it's like, okay, this fucking freak of a man did create this family that's also freakish. That makes sense.
No, I think it's like, I mean, that movie, I think Rushmore is my favorite one.
Yeah, Rushmore is definitely up there in my, I mean, I think Royal Tenenbaum might get number 1.
For me, it's like 2 or 3. I think it's like
Bottle Rocket.
I like Bottle Rocket, but it's not as refined. Like I think Rushmore is the masterpiece. I think Royal Tenenbaums is up there. I think
For me,
you know what else I liked is I liked the Budapest Hotel. I thought was a good one.
That's pretty good. I wouldn't put it up there in like my top ones, but I did enjoy it. I would say for me, I would say it's Royal Tenenbaums and Rushmore are like definitely my favorites of his.
Yeah, so good. So good.
So good. Man. Well, rest in peace, Gene Hackman.
And his wife, which I feel terrible. I can't remember her name. It's like Annie.
Oh my God.
Annie Kurokawa or something, or I'm forgetting.
Fuck yeah! What? I'm gonna look it up right now so that we don't seem so disrespectful.
Let's Google the mummified woman, please. If you
let's Google the mummified woman so that we respect her.
Yeah.
Betsy.
Oh, Betsy.
Her name is Betsy. I can't find a last name. Rest in peace, Betsy.
Gene and Betsy. Yeah, Gene Hackman, all-time great, and will be missed, and lived a long life. And like, I guess we'll be interested to see what the final word is from the investigators. I'm gonna guess they're gonna say it was a cardiac arrest for both of them.
I mean, if they can't figure out, I feel like it could be like a Brittany Murphy situation where they're just like, something happened and it was maybe suspicious, but we don't really know. Like, like they said, like for her, like the manner of death was like flu. Like I feel like they could do something like that, even because like if it's just so mysterious, you can't even get a single lead. I guess that's what you have to do.
All right. Well, we end on a somber note this week on Brad and Mira for the Culture. Gene Hackman, a stirring Gene Hackman tribute.
Stirring, absolutely. And those men in West Hollywood deserved it. You go, Gene Hackman.
That's right. I hope I'm beating ass when I'm 72.
I hope I get my ass beat by a 72-year-old one day. That would be a good story to tell.
I would, Gene. That'd be kind of cool, like a badge of honor if Gene Hackman beat the shit out of you when he was in his 70s.
Right? It's like if Bill Murray showed up and beat the shit out of me, I'd be like, all right, like I'm gonna sue and get a lot of money, but that's pretty cool.
I don't feel like Bill's a fighter. He doesn't have the fire.
No,
he's not.
He's too depressed.
Yeah, he's like sad clown.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mira, it's great to see you. Congrats on your new house. Go unpack.
Thank you.
It's stressing me out what a shit show your house is. So go fix it up.
Oh yeah, it's stressing you out. Imagine how I'm feeling. I've got the cortisol levels of like a small prey animal right now.
Go find your microphone, for God's sakes. I can't believe that you don't have any idea where it is.
Yeah, you know what? Me neither. Those mics are not cheap either, I gotta say.
What do you, I mean, you call yourself a podcaster? You don't even know where your mic is? It's like a cop when he loses his gun.
I mean, I gotta be real. I don't call myself a podcaster among friendly company, but I guess it is true that I am one.
You can't wash this off now, Mira. It's too late.
It's true.
You're in too deep.
The stench of podcaster will be on me for the rest of time.
It's going into your Wikipedia. Get ready.
That's right. Can only wait for the Wikipedia edit.
Hey, thanks to everybody out there for listening. If you want to write to us, if you have thoughts, it's letters@otherppl.com. We will be back next week. Mira's going to be in her new studio. She's going to have her microphone. She's going to be like full capacity, full podcaster capacity.
Let's hope and pray. Everybody pray to a God that's probably dead that I find my mic and I'm able to set up my studio.
Amen.
Amen.